7 months ago, I set out on my first ever proper lean bulk, and I had one goal in mind. At the end of my cut, I wanted to have my abs still intact to make sure that I don't gain too much body fat. And I'm proud to say I finally did that. And in this video, I'm going to share how I kept my abs during a 10 kg bulk, over 20 pounds. So let's go. Alright, let's get into it. So 7 months ago, I set out on my bulk, and I started the bulk at about 60 kgs, and this is after I lost over 30 pounds from my previous bulk, which was a massive failure. I got too fat on that bulk. I knew that to make sure that I do not gain that much body fat, I wanted to keep my abs at the end of my bulk. And this is what I look like at the beginning of my bulk. As you can see, I am very lean, I'm very low body fat, and I have my abs. And now this is what I look like now, 70 kgs, 10 kgs heavier. And as you can see, you can still see my abs. I still have visible abs. And under the correct lighting, I can even see veins around my abs. And this is how I managed to gain over 10 kgs and still keep my abs visible. Very important. Let's get into it. Number one, I made sure to stay in a very small calorie surplus. You know, when you think about it, 10 kgs in 7 months sounds like a long time, but in the grand scheme of things, it's actually not that much. I made sure to stay in a small calorie surplus because science has shown time and time again, you don't need to get fat to build muscle. You don't have to go on this crazy dirty bulk to put on muscle. You can be in a very small surplus, and that will make sure that you maximize muscle gain while minimizing fat gain. If you watch my video of when I started my bulk, everything I'm saying here, I'm pretty much re-saying the same stuff. This is what I did to make sure that I do not gain that much body fat on this bulk. Stay in a very small calorie surplus. My maintenance is about 2,200 calories. And for the majority of this bulk, I've been eating about 2,450 to 2,550 calories over the last 7 months. And I steadily gained weight very slowly. There were points in the bulk where I stayed the same weight for a period of weeks, and I did not mind because I knew that if I'm still getting stronger, that means I am building muscle. That is definitely one of the reasons why I still have my abs. You don't need to be in a big calorie surplus to build muscle. You do not want to get fat. Trust me, I've done it. I went on a crazy surplus, gained a whole lot of body weight, and it took me a long time to lose that fat. It took me over a year to lose that fat. Right now, I'm currently at the beginning of my cut, and I do not expect to be here for a very long time. So if you want to see how the cut goes, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel to see the journey. Alright, so number two. So the second thing that I did, as I said, is I bulked as slowly as humanly possible. I made sure that my weight gain was not that fast. Some months I was the same weight for a period of weeks. Some months I gained a lot more weight than I was supposed to, but at the end of the day, I averaged it out and I made sure that I gained weight very slowly. The faster you gain weight, the more likely it is that that weight will be fat. And the slower you gain weight, the more likely that weight is muscle. Simply because muscle takes a long time to build. If you gain 10 kgs in 3 months, that doesn't mean that 10 kg, most of it is muscle. Even for me right now, I gained 10 kgs in 7 months. And I do not believe that most of that 10 kgs is muscle, right? I am not that delusional. I know that I put on some body fat, as you can see from the video. But my body fat level is not that high. I do not think I'm above 18% body fat right now. I think I'm at a good body fat percentage, and I made sure that I do not go that high in body fat to make sure that when I finally cut, I don't need to cut for that long of a time. So please take your time with the bulk. If you can bulk for like 2 years without ever needing to cut, honestly, do that. My next bulk after I finish this cut will be even slower than this time. I'm going to make sure that at least I'm in a surplus or maintenance for an entire year. Literally 12 months. That's what I want to do. Put on as little body fat as possible. Because even from this bulk, while I did gain weight very slowly, I do believe that I could have been slower and a bit more disciplined. But the nice thing about a bulk is, you know, I was out and I wanted to eat and I wanted to enjoy myself. And that's the best thing about being in a bulk. You can afford to do that. You can afford to go out and, you know, splurge on calories here and there. And that's exactly what I did. And honestly, even though I did gain weight a lot quicker than I wanted, it is still okay. It is still fine. As you can see, it worked out. I still have most of my abs. I still have my abs. So Bulk as slowly as possible by being in a small calorie surplus. Nothing crazy. Honestly, even a 500 calorie surplus might be a bit too much. So try to focus on like 200 to 300 calorie surplus and you should be golden. You should be good. As long as you're in the gym and you're getting stronger and you feel good and your recovery is also good, you are golden. As long as those things are happening, you don't need to increase your calories. And the third thing that I made sure to do during this bulk to make sure that I keep my abs is obviously I had to train my abs. I had to progressively overload and train my abs just like any other muscle. We've heard the propaganda over and over again. Abs are made in the kitchen. Abs are made in the kitchen. That is definitely true. You need to be in a deficit and you need to lose body fat to see your abs. But your abs are a muscle and you can build your abs. The more you build your abs, the more likely you are to see them at a higher body fat percentage. I've been at this weight before. I started overweight. I've been 70 kgs before and I never had abs. Now I have abs. Why? Because I built them up. I train them every single week, twice a week. And honestly, I'm not even doing that many sets. I'm doing like 6 sets a week, twice per week. 3 sets, split up across 2 workout days. And that is it. That's it. Just make sure you train them hard and you train them as you are supposed to, like every other muscle. Go close to failure, train your abs, and you are more likely to see abs at a higher body fat percentage. Because my body fat percentage is definitely high right now, but I can still see my abs. The reason for that is I've been training them religiously. Even now, I'm training them, even on the card, I'm gonna still keep on training them. And that's how I've been able to keep my abs over the last 7 months on this bulk. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Just normal, small calorie surplus. Train the abs like you train every other muscle group, and you should be fine. And the fourth and last thing that I did to make sure that I keep my abs on this bulk is to make sure that most of my calories came from good, clean foods, right? The 80-20 rule. That's what I stuck to. I made sure that 80% of the time I am eating nutritious whole foods. My calories came from good calorie sources. I was not eating burgers every other weekend. I was not, eating crazy shit all the time. And in my diet, I actually had Oreos every single day. The key here is control. Make sure that most of your calories come from fruits, vegetables, whole foods, good sources of protein, chicken, beef. Your carbs are also from good sources, pasta, rice, potatoes. Make sure that you are eating good quality foods. But when you do eat those foods, the nutrients from those foods can be used as best as possible by your body. Because if you're eating more unhealthy foods, your body will not be able to process those nutrients as best as it could and will not put them towards what it's supposed to. You are more likely to gain body fat if you are eating unhealthy foods, because those foods are processed and they are not good sources of nutrients. So focus on good nutritious foods, get your protein in, train your abs, make sure that you're in a small calorie surplus, and trust me, at the end of your bulk, you'll still have your abs and you'll have nothing to worry about. And it will not take you a long time to finally cut down to a lower body fat percentage after your bulk. You will not be too fat. If you can still see your abs, it means you are not too fat. So it will not take you a long time to finally cut down and be at a good body fat percentage. And that's it, man. That's all I did to make sure that I can still see my abs at the end of my bulk. 7 months, 10 kgs, 20 pounds, and I still can see my abs. And I gotta say, it feels good. So like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.